how do you begin to diagnose what it is and pinpoint, is it communication? Is it what is it? How do you begin to do that?
Well, that's such a great question. I'm actually going to start with taking a step back and sharing a little bit about how these conversations tend to start when we get involved. Um, because usually it's that something's not working, but a lot of times they come from almost like a workforce planning, workforce management perspective. I don't know if I'm staffed appropriately. So I have people who are really overloaded, who are asking for more help, but then our support roles don't seem to be utilized. They seem to have a lot of free time. Or I have people who constantly say we need resources, but then when there are resources, the work is not getting done. It typically comes from this disconnect, and where a lot of leaders tend to see where it happens or where they think it's happening is the staffing model. Do we have the right roles? Do we have the right people in the right roles? And almost every time when I dig into these engagements, it's either not the staffing model that's the problem, or the solution for the staffing model is so different than what the clients think it might be. Um, and so where their staffing needs might be in these entirely separate functional areas from where they're seeing this disconnect between like capacity or productivity and not. Um, so where I tend to start is as I enter these organizations, and for leaders to do it and start to have conversations really across levels of roles, across segments of the organization. To me, there's almost four lenses, four questions to start to ask. So I always ask, what does the employee understand their role to be? What do they think their role is? On their lens, what makes up their plate of responsibilities? And getting an understanding of how do they see their time expected to be allocated? How do they see themselves being dependent or supporting others in roles that are connected to them? The second piece of this is, what do others expect from them? What are others' expectations of their role and how they are either dependent or supporting tangential positions? And then that third piece is, what does the organization need from them? So if we look at the work and the org chart as a whole, what is the function of that role in supporting and leading into broader organizational goals? And once we start to map up to the top of the organization that way, then I start to ask questions, and I would encourage leaders to really start to think about, what are they or how are they prepared to deliver in that way?
Mm.
So are they prepared to deliver what others expect from them? Are they prepared to deliver in a way based on what the organization needs from them? Because we can clarify expectations. We can create a through line from employee lens, through coworker, colleague lens, through organizational lens, but are they prepared to execute in the way that we now need this unified, common understanding of a role to be?